Welcome to another episode of Ways to Love Your Money. I'm going to be your host today, Katie Steck. I'm taking over the podcast today, and I'm here with Stephen Keim. So we just want to talk to you today a little bit about retirement and what it's been like for people working from home, if that's made them want to retire sooner, are they enjoying work more, and just what that kind of has been looking like for everybody. But before we get into that, I do just want to remind our listeners that we have a webinar, Retire Now. It kind of talks a little bit more about this and getting people ready for retirement, what to think about when you're getting closer to that, and you get to listen to me for a little bit longer. So if you would like to hear more about that, please contact us at questionswithans@elizabethwithansdawson.com, and we'd be happy to send you the link for that. So how are you doing today, Stephen?
I'm good. This is exciting. It's been almost a year since my last foray into the podcast
world. Oh my goodness. Well, I'm so glad you can be here with me today. So I guess what do you think about people getting closer to retirement, and are they enjoying working from home? Do you think it's making it harder and they're really wanting to retire sooner? What do you think?
Well, you know me. I've said from day one that I'm ready to retire. So working from home was great for me. I know it's been really kind of mixed as far as like people's mental states. I know some people love being at home. Some people hate being at home. I think probably for the people that just retired and thought, I'm going to go on all these vacations and I'm going to go golf and I'm going to do all this, it's been especially hard for them because they retired and they're at home. So yeah. I think it's really dependent on like your personal situation. For me, I liked being at home. I thought I was more productive. You know, I love my puppy and he was there with me, helping me work. But,
yes, I
that's
agree.
Just me personally. I think it really depends on the person.
Yeah, definitely. I think it really depended on what industry people were in. I think right now, teachers, for one, I think they're really struggling.
Yeah.
Don't want to speak for any teachers, but I know we have a couple clients who are teachers who just retired, and I know that they're very thankful to not have to be dealing with all of this right now.
Yeah, that's kind of the other side of the coin. I have a friend that's a teacher, a PE teacher at a high school around here, and he actually kind of took the reins and made a whole PE program on YouTube.
Oh my
that
gosh.
I was actually able to share with other friends that I have that are teachers. He's a high school level teacher, but they're all elementary school teachers, and so they were able to show their class and do Zoom recordings of the PE like program that he made, and it was actually really cool and helpful. So I think again, it's really being the kind of person that's able to look at a situation and see like, okay, I gotta just make the best of it. And I think that might be another way that it's been harder for retirees that have just retired too, because it's a generation that's still not used to Zoom, or we're not used to Zoom. So
I know, it's brand new.
I think that's another thing that's been hard, is it's like, okay, we want to take advantage of all of these opportunities, but we can't because we don't know how. So where's that balance?
Right, I agree. I think on the other side of it, I think it's given people, depending on their industry and their job, an opportunity to maybe phase into retirement and
that's true.
Have a more flexible schedule, maybe have more balance, get to do maybe some of those things, not travel, but maybe clean up the house or just do some of those things that...
We heard that from some clients. They're like, we're cleaning.
Just do some of those things that they think they're not going to get a chance to do until they're retired, and giving them an opportunity to kind of mix it in with their work day. But yeah, I know it so depends on each person. I know my mom retired last year, and she is very thankful that she did not have to deal with work at all this year. And being in HR, I can only imagine what kind of situations have come up in her old department. So.
Oh yeah, I can only imagine.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on maybe people through this time wanting to downsize their house, or just kind of relooking at their living situation, whether they're retirees or even younger people?
I think it really depends again on your situation. It's what's best for you. I know in California there's that provision that if you're 55 or older, you can actually downsize and keep your property tax base, which is really important, and that's kind of where the full plan comes in, and really kind of finding that professional that can do that for you and know those nuances, because 54, you sell your house and downsize, you just lost that
Right.
advantage. So I think it really depends on smart planning. I know for some clients that we have that have been wanting to upgrade, they've actually sold their homes and they're just renting right now until they, maybe find something that's perfect, because the house is on the market is just like hot right now.
Right.
And everything's kind of coming towards the top again. So again, it really just kind of depends on having that, professional influence in your life to kind of guide you and say, yeah, you can afford that, or maybe rent for a couple months, or maybe if you wait another year, you can downsize and save a lot more money than you thought you were going to.
Yeah.
So that's,
Yeah, I definitely think people are starting to realize what they really want in their house, though. Maybe they don't, if they're getting close to retirement and their kids are out of the house, maybe they're realizing they don't need as much space. It's a lot to take care of and upkeep, and or maybe they are thinking, oh my gosh, I need a better yard, especially in this area where the weather's so nice all the time. Having a nice yard, I think when you can't go out to maybe a restaurant or congregate in groups at the beach or whatever, having a nice yard is more important than it's ever been.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And for some people, it's emotional too. I know we have clients that recently retired and they've got, their big family home that their kids grew up in, but they don't want to get rid of it yet because they want to see their grandkids in that house, and, they want to have family there. So it really, again, is just kind of about what works for you money-wise and what works for you, your personal needs. So really it's just, you got to think about it. It's not something that's like, I'm going to downsize and just do it, or I'm going to upsize and just do it. It's all about having a plan. Yeah,
for sure. I think we're also seeing a lot of people who are maybe happy with the home they have, but are thinking of a second home, a vacation home, or even just an RV, so they can get out and see different four walls every day than the same four walls. I know my husband's family just done that. They've got a little vacation home and they just kind of mix it up, go back and forth every other week, so they don't have to look at the same house every day.
That's a good idea.
So yeah, I think there's just everybody's so different. It's really hard to say, I think, but it's definitely been an interesting year, and
that's for sure.
I think overall, people are ready for some changes in their life.
Yeah.
I would say that that's definitely something I'm seeing.
I agree.
Well, thanks for listening with us today.
It's great being here.
Before we finish, though, we do have a question from the audience I want to take a minute to go over. So this person said, I am turning 50 soon, and I feel like I'm behind on my retirement plans. What are some things to look at or some first steps?
I think this really circles back to, again, having a plan and talking to a professional. A lot of people are do-it-yourselfers. You can go on Smart Asset or other sites where you can kind of be your own financial planner, but those sites don't kind of know what someone like a fee-based fiduciary knows. Someone that's a real financial planner that's been in it for a long time, and that knows what they're talking about and kind of knows all those nuances and has seen client A, B, C through Z, and they know, and they can tailor a plan to you. So really, it's not about panicking. We're all where we're at for a reason. I think it's about realizing that, okay, I'm here, I want to get there, how do I do that?
Right.
And talking to someone and making a plan.
Yeah, definitely. I think the first things that are really important to think about are, when are you thinking about retirement? 50 is pretty young.
Yeah, that's pretty long way.
If you want to retire sooner rather than later, is that 5 years, 10 years? Is it more like 15, 20 years? That makes a big difference. And also, what are your cash flow needs? I think that's a really important thing before you start the planning to look at. What are your expenses? What do you expect those expenses to be in the future? Will you still have a mortgage? Will you still have maybe kids in the house that you're helping pay for? So I think just knowing what you need and how much income you need or going to need is a really important first step, so we can start helping you plan for what that's going to look like, when you kind of need to know what you think retirement's going to look like, in order to really have a real plan in place. So anything else you want to add to that? I hope that helps our listener. Please. Also, I can't recommend enough to pick up a copy of our book, Wealth by Design, Elizabeth wrote a couple years ago. I think that also gives you a really good broad brush outlook on what to think about when starting to think about retirement. So thank you so much for joining us. Hope you will have a great day, and we'll see you again soon.
The information provided in this show is for informational and educational purposes only. This show is not investment advice, nor is it intended to address the financial needs of any particular viewer. The opinions expressed on this show are not intended to be an endorsement of any particular investment strategy or service of any other kind. You must make an independent decision regarding investments or strategies mentioned throughout the show. Before acting on information in this show, you should consider whether it is suitable for your particular situation and strongly consider seeking advice from a financial advisor.